Welcome to the Homefront Podcast. Each month, Andrew Brock, President and CEO of Home Ventures, a leading prop tech investment firm, sits down with industry movers and shakers to uncover how technology transforms community living. We explore cutting-edge trends, innovative solutions, and future advancements that impact homeowners, community members, and HOA professionals. Join us as we decode the digital revolution. Let's get into the show.
Well, everyone, hi. Welcome back to the Homefront Podcast. My name is Andrew Brock, and I'm your host. And well, this is the third season of our podcast, and we're thrilled to have you back. And for the first few episodes of this season, we're going to be focused on innovation in the home and the homeowner experience and how technology and tools are really helping enable homeowners to simplify really all the work and cost that it takes to maintain a home. And I'm super thrilled to welcome our special guest today. Genevieve Becker is the head of new ventures at the leading national home services marketplace, Thumbtack. And we Genevieve, well, first off, I'll just say welcome.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you.
Super excited to be here.
We, met about a year ago, I think.
Just about, yeah. Just our anniversary.
Well, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And we entered into a partnership with Thumbtack to provide access to all of your services to our homeowners via the Town Square application. How's that been going so far for you?
We're thrilled. We're almost about 6 months in, and we're just getting started. We're really excited to be partnering with you guys and to be here chatting on this podcast. So
oh my gosh, we're thrilled to have you. And for those who might not be as familiar with Thumbtack, do you mind just taking a few minutes and talk about your company and your journey to where you are today?
For sure. So Thumbtack, as you mentioned, is a leading national home services marketplace. So in not corporate talk, what does that mean? It means it's an app, it's a website to be able to find people, trusted pros to do things in your home.
Yeah.
So we've been around since 2008.
Okay.
We have home service professionals in over 500 categories. Every year we work with more than 4 million customers to get jobs done. We have 300,000 home service professionals on any given day, and over 11 million 5-star reviews. So that's us kind of by the numbers, if you will.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Us in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, we love the 5 stars. You know, we pride ourselves on our products being 5-star rated as well. So we're right there with you in that value prop.
Yep.
You mentioned all the service providers and partners you have on your network. Can you talk a little bit about how you find those service providers and vendors and how they would become part of your referral and marketplace network?
Yeah, it's a great question. So something that I think you and I have talked about before that I think is really relevant here is that the types of home service pros that people are often looking for are the pros that are coming through word of mouth referrals. They're the people that your neighbors are using that, the person down the street says, hey, have you tried XYZ plumbing?
Yep.
And so we've really tried to be very intentional at Thumbtack about capturing exactly that persona and really finding the pros that otherwise would be referred only through word of mouth. So, we have a pro recruitment team across the country that goes out, hits the pavement to find those pros that are often hyper local, smaller businesses that are excited to work with people that are really local to their community.
I love that you said hyper local. Because growing up, just as the internet was kind of getting going, there were several products and services that kind of came on the market early that were trying to provide access to home services and vendors. And one of the things I realized kind of early on is that even though someone may have like a great rating, it might be a different arm of their business in a different market that might have had a better service offering than perhaps one in a different town. Can you talk about that kind of hyper local approach and how you all get at it? I mean, I know as an example, if my next door neighbor were to say, listen, this HVAC person is the best out there, I would take that recommendation really kind of at I would consider it a higher value than
Totally.
Someone perhaps I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe two parts to my answer here.
Yeah.
So the first part about kind of the how do we get really hyper local and people that are specific to not just your city or your metro area, but your zip code. That's something that when we work with new pros that are onboarding into Thumbtack, we sit down with them and we ask them, we say, all right, on a map, tell us where you want to service. And what we find more often than not is that they want to have a tight region for where they go. It helps them keep their business efficient. It helps them get repeat business because they become a name in that area. So we are very intentional about making sure that they're not setting too broad of an area, so that they are matching with people that are truly in their community. So that's the first part of the question.
Sure.
And then the second part of the question of how do you sort of emulate or mimic that referral, that recommendation from your neighbor? And this is something we're really, really proud of. In Thumbtack, you can see what we call a verified review, which means if someone else has worked with that pro, they can leave a review that actually ties back to the project that they used Thumbtack to help them find the pro for. They can leave the review, good, bad, ugly, but they can also leave photos. And then something that's really cool is we can actually show you the reviews and the photos that are most relevant to the type of work that you're looking to do.
Oh, wow.
So you can see, hey, I'm looking for someone to wallpaper my bathroom. And you may have someone that works on painting and drywall and wallpaper, one pro, but you'll see the projects that are specific to wallpaper, which is really cool.
Oh, that's fantastic. I tend to think, gosh, the big three, plumbing, heating and air, roof repair, landscaping.
I was wondering what your number three would be.
Did you walk in perhaps to the Town Square partnership with certain expectations of what you might see? And if so, how have those played out? Or have you learned something you weren't expecting perhaps?
Good question. I think we tend to kind of think about the types of projects that happen or that, people find pros for in kind of two categories. And this is a vast oversimplification, but the first is kind of your everyday projects. So your higher frequency, think of them as more kind of maintenance projects to keep your house, to keep the lights on, if you will.
Yeah.
So
gutter. I just had my gutters cleaned out the other day. Winds have been crazy in Texas.
My neighbor just had theirs out too.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of a distraction, but
that's fine, yeah.
But my neighbors just had theirs cleaned too. And I went over to them and I said, hey, look, I know you just had your gutters cleaned. I'm going to compliment you on your gutters because no one ever comes up to you afterwards and says, your gutters are so clean. Good job.
Way to be a good homeowner.
But that is the kind of thing that we need that reinforcement, because otherwise you're just spending $2,000 of your gutters clean.
Why did I just do that? Myself.
Exactly. So to your point, keeping the lights on, keeping your gutters clean. There's that type of work. We put, house cleaning in that. We put landscaping, stuff that kind of happens multiple times a year, without fail. And we've definitely seen that reflected in the types of projects that are coming through Town Square. You also mentioned, and this is the other kind of category that we see, these more what I would call lower frequency, higher severity projects, like a roofing repair or roof replacement. We've seen a handful of those come through, and it's about in line, honestly, with what we would expect from a frequency perspective. So turns out Town Square homeowners are just like every other homeowner in the country.
That's good. So they are maintaining their homes. That's a good thing. They're
maintaining them, and they're probably forking out some major dollars to repair their roofs too.
Yeah. What we talk about Town Square as being kind of a single place to go for people, and kind of the hub of community interaction and engagement. What about frequency of use? Are you seeing people kind of drawn to your product more than you anticipated? Do you feel like it's right in line so far? I mean, we're fairly early in the journey, but what are your impressions so far?
Yeah, it's a good question. So again, a two-part answer. So I think for the folks that have discovered that you can find a home service professional in Town Square, we are seeing some repeat behavior there, which is great.
That's great.
And actually, what we're seeing more specifically is we're seeing people who I think get excited about the first pro that they reach out to. So then actually within usually a day or two, they reach out to someone else.
Oh, that's great.
And not just for the same project, like for a different project,
Oh, that's
which is
an
cool.
even better data point.
So that's one thing. And then to your earlier point, I think what I am really excited to go on this journey together through is this idea of beginning to kind of bridge the gap in the association between Town Square having all of the really rich set of offerings that it has today, but having it become synonymous with home services. And that is something that I think just you can't do that overnight, right? You have to kind of continue to chip away and build that awareness. But trust you me, it's worth it, right? That is and if you can do that, you will be the first in the industry to be able to do that.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, affirmation, because it is true. Like I would say, as the industry has evolved, people have really more just from a technological offering standpoint, people have segmented out, well, this is where I go to work on HOA items. This is where I go then to work on, home services and all the work I need to do to maintain and repair my home. And then here are the other places I go to interact with my neighbors. And this sense that home ownership is really it's holistic, and the dividing lines that we have created from a technological standpoint aren't really how people behave or want to behave.
Totally.
So I love that idea that it really just becomes a singular place for home ownership across all the things that a homeowner has to do.
Totally. I agree.
Every company is on an innovation journey. We are as well, and technology is moving at such a fast pace. You talked a little bit about this idea of kind of creating a holistic place for home ownership, but as you think about Thumbtack and your all's broader strategy, where do you see kind of innovation going, even in your own category?
Gosh, that's a big question with perhaps a lot of answers.
Really simple question.
I have a very specific answer. I guess what I would say is first, we took a long, hard look, and I think we've been thinking about this as a company for the past year, maybe 2 years or so, of kind of resetting our PR is going to get annoyed with me. I don't know if it's our vision or our mission, but one of them.
Or your values.
Or our values. Let's just throw that one in there.
That's right.
And what we have recently, like truly within the past, I think, month, honestly, brought out to the market is that we are rooted in helping people who dwell in a residence, helping them accomplish more.
That's good.
And that is, I know that's not innovative, right? But that is like, how can we help you get more done? And I think where the innovation comes is how you actually do that, right?
Yeah.
How can we give you the resources, the knowledge to be able to not just react when things go poorly in your home, but to proactively plan think about how to take care of your home in between sort of the oh no moments. And so I think there's a lot of innovation to be had there, but it's all rooted in sort of this mantra. Let's call it a mantra. This mantra of helping people who live in a home do more.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, Genevieve, we just recently had a big celebration at our Town Square headquarters in Brazil. And my understanding is you were able to make that trip and interact and partner and party with all of our amazing team members there. Gosh, did you get a sense of the Town Square culture, perhaps in a different way than you did, working here with our U.S.-based teams?
Totally. I mean, to be fair, I work with your Brazil-based teams just remotely or virtually as well. Sure. And their excitement, their enthusiasm for Town Square and, the why behind what they do comes through even virtually, right? But when you see them in person, it is just undeniable. And something that I really appreciated while being there was, I mean, we literally and proverbially rolled up our sleeves and got in the weeds. I mean, there were probably, 200 sticky notes that came out of those working sessions. Yeah. And they were so quick to follow up and say, all right, how do we take this time that we spent together and how do we materialize this in put it into action and taking what the partnership that we have today and making it that much better. So it was really special to be there. The culture was absolutely amazing. And I truly can say that we feel like we have a front row seat to being part of, not even a front row seat, but like in the ring with you guys, in building something in this broader industry that just doesn't exist today.
Well, we're thrilled to be on the journey, and even more thrilled to have fantastic partners and friends like you and Thumbtack, and not just your partnership, but your enthusiasm and engagement and the dream, really, of transforming the homeowner experience into something really super valuable and letting technology be an enabler there. So a huge thank you to you, Genevieve, and to the amazing Thumbtack team for your wonderful partnership and for joining us on our very first episode of Season 3 on the home front. It's been great to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Pleased to be here.
You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
We want to hear from you. If you have questions, comments, or topic suggestions, contact us at contact@thehomefront.com. And be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram at The Homefront Podcast for exciting news, updates, and announcements.